You can't be one of the baddest female rappers around without making a few enemies. And many enemies Nicki Minaj has made indeed. Who has she dissed, and whose intimate body parts did she blast about on Twitter? Keep watching to find out. Ever since the release of Nicki Minaj's 2007 debut mixtape, Playtime Is Over, the rapper has clashed with legendary hip-hop star Lil Kim. The beef? According to NME, it started when said mixtape used artwork that bore a striking resemblance to that of Kim's seminal 1996 album, Hardcore. For the subsequent decade that followed, the two fired shots at each other from the Barbie Dreamhouse walls of their respective careers. While the has-been of Minaj's sour diss track, Roman's Revenge, was rumored to be Kim, the Lady Marmalade rapper left no doubt who was in her crosshairs when she released her Black Friday mixtape. The artwork of the 2011 joint notoriously appeared to depict Kim decapitating Minaj, while also playing on the name and artwork of her latest album. In 2018, however, the two made peace with each other. Minaj paid homage to Kim with her song Barbie Dreams. And Kim said of Minaj during an interview with Real 92.3, "God bless her, I wish her the best." But don't be fooled, Kim still wants her revenge. In 2021, she confidently named Minaj as the person she'd be most eager to do a versus rap battle against, when questioned about it by DJ Envy on the BET Awards red carpet. And that might honestly be the rapper's perfect moment with which to powerfully reclaim her crown. Just as the embers of Nicki Minaj's feud with Lil Kim appeared to be softening into a cozy glow, a raging fire appeared to be blazing in the one she had with Cardi B. In 2017, Minaj was rumored to have proudly dissed Cardi and Offset in her verses for Katy Perry's Shade anthem, Swish Swish. It left the rapper feeling, quote, hurt and disappointed, as she aired her feelings on IG Live. By 2018, tensions between the two reached such a boiling point that they got into a physical altercation at a New York Fashion Week party. Per TMZ, who shared video footage of the ruckus, Cardi was elbowed in the face by Minaj's security, and the rapper then threw a shoe at the star. According to the website, the fight stemmed from Cardi alleging that Minaj had been slyly dissing her and making comments about her capabilities as a mother. As much as the beef appeared to have cooled between the two, it also never quite ended. In 2021, Jessie Wu from Love and Hip Hop spread a rumor that someone from Cardi's team suggested their goal was to knock Nicki Minaj out in Wu's Hollywood Unlocked interview. Though the WAP star denied the accusations in a comment left on Instagram, it's possible that Cardi is still capable of settling their feud once and for all. That is, by dethroning Minaj with her own thriving career. One of the greatest are they or aren't they twosomes of hip-hop for years was Nicki Minaj and Drake, who flirted publicly with the idea that their close friendship was more than platonic. However, between the raunchy Anaconda lap dance sequences and teasing Twitter statements from Drizzy, the two were also prone to fallouts. In 2013, for instance, Drake dropped a couple of lines about how he wasn't even talking to Nicki anymore on the song Tuscan Leather. And though they managed to rekindle their connection, Minaj's romance with Drake's former rival, Meek Mill, caused another divide between the two. In an interview with Beats One Zane Lowe, Minaj described being stuck between the two during their beef as being one of the hardest parts of her career. She even alleged that Drake had told her that he had only one worry in the entire situation between himself and Mill. What if Nicki takes a shot at me? What if Nicki spits bars at me? But maybe Minaj should be worried about Drake taking a shot at her. In 2019, Drake raised eyebrows when he invited Minaj's rival, Cardi B, to perform at his OVO festival. That same year, fans speculated that the rapper used metaphorical animals to symbolically kill off Cardi and Drake in her video for Hard White. Could a future Drizzy vs. Cardi diss track collab be awaiting the star? Like many of Nicki Minaj's feuds, the one she shares with Remy Ma has gone through various vicious twists and turns. As described by The Fader, Remy and Minaj's relationship went from friendly competition to actual beef. When the super bass rapper came for the crown of the self-proclaimed Queen of New York, the two artists seemingly took subliminal and more direct swings at each other in the bars of their rhymes. Then, Remy appeared to land a finishing blow with the release of diss track Sheather in 2017. It was a 7-minute slaughter of a song which Complex called one of the most savage diss tracks ever. Indeed it is. Not that Remy feels good about it. Speaking on BuzzFeed's Another Round podcast, the rapper suggested that she wasn't particularly proud that a song picking apart another female is what went viral. She even suggested, "We could have done this working together." In 2018, Demi Lovato shared a mysterious blind item about a toxic experience at the 2016 Met Gala that almost made the singer break sobriety. Lovato opened up about the quote, terrible experience to Billboard, explaining, "This one celebrity was a complete and was miserable to be around, so much so that Lovato left the lavish fashion event to attend an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at 10 p.m. Though Lovato has never named the person in question, the star accompanied creative director Jeremy Scott to the gala alongside Nicki Minaj. Rumors of a feud between Minaj and Lovato emerged when the rapper shared a since-deleted image of the three on the red carpet together, but tagged Scott and not Lovato.
They are more skeptical than I am.
The Dancing with the Devil singer reportedly took notice and commented on the post with a laughing emoji, peace sign, and thumbs up. According to Cosmopolitan, Lovato then shared a salty Snapchat, looking pensive with the caption, "When you aren't mentioned in a post, but didn't do to that person." If Minaj is the mean girl in question, then Lovato could be holding on to some shady secrets about Minaj's behavior that night. Former Hood Stars group members Safaree Samuels and Nicki Minaj had a troubled love affair, to say the least. In 2011, TMZ shared a police report detailing a physical altercation between the two, in which Samuels was accused of hitting Minaj in the face with a suitcase. 3 years later, TMZ was reporting that the two had broken up, and by 2015, Samuels was claiming credit for her songwriting. If you know Minaj, then you know that's a bear you don't poke. The MC not only denied the suggestion while in conversation with Funk Flex for Hot 97, but also insinuated that Samuels had said it out of weakness and passive aggression. And why? Because he allegedly got caught stealing her credit cards to hire sex workers with. Naturally, the two wound up exchanging more words with each other on Twitter afterwards, with Samuels landing a final jab by suggesting that he almost died once after Minaj cut him. This allegation was weirdly backed up by a TMZ reporter who had seen video footage of Minaj chasing Samuels with a knife. Said video has never surfaced, and Samuels has likewise never pressed charges for the alleged violence. Whether that'll remain the case is another question entirely. In 2015, Nicki Minaj's Anaconda and Taylor Swift's Bad Blood were two of the most talked about music videos of the year. They also happened to bop at different ends of a complicated dance hall called feminism. While Minaj powerfully reclaimed Sir Mix-a-Lot's legendary Baby Got Back with a video celebrating female empowerment via a body yaddy yaddy, Swift used action movie tropes to make a statement about girl squads as a superpower. Then the MTV Video Music Awards happened and failed to nominate Anaconda for Video of the Year alongside Bad Blood. And all hell broke loose. Minaj made a series of posts on Twitter sharing her outrage about how the nominees solely featured women with very slim bodies. Swift took it personally, lashed out, and then apologized when Minaj made it clear it wasn't about her. Seemingly about everything and nothing, the feud ended as soon as it began. Or did it? In 2017, Entertainment Weekly reported there was speculation that Minaj subtweeted at Swift, writing, "Sit down, be humble." This is likely a response to the release of Swift's beefy bop, Look What You Made Me Do. Swift isn't one to let grudges stay in the past, particularly not if there's a 10-minute song to be pulled from it. If there is any unresolved beef between the two, the All Too Well singer will find a way to address it, even a decade later. Speaking of MTV VMA outbursts featuring Nicki Minaj, the beef between the rapper and Miley Cyrus has been simmering away ever since 2015. The Wrecking Ball hitmaker made the mistake of sharing her opinion on Minaj's VMA nominations rant, where she described the rapper's behavior as, quote, "not very polite." Cyrus made the statements to the New York Times, where she further accused Minaj of instigating a, quote, pop star war. Unfortunately for her, Cyrus was the host of the VMAs that year, and upon winning the award for Best Hip Hop Video, Minaj legendarily jabbed back at the singer to ask, "Miley, what's good?" Years later, Cyrus casually chose to reignite the feud on the track Catitude by singing, "I love you, Nicki, but I listen to Cardi." During an episode of Queen Radio, Minaj commented back, "Purdue chickens can never talk about queens." It's worth noting that while Minaj has continued to find drama in the industry, Cyrus has arguably mellowed. The move aligns with her current status as the leading living jukebox of assorted classic rock covers. And while Minaj's squabbles may be leaving her short of powerful pals and collaborators, Cyrus seems to be maintaining a healthy roster of potential collaborators. There isn't digital real estate big enough to comfortably house all the drama that erupted from the newfound solo career of Jessie Nelson in 2021. But the flat pack version is this. The former Little Mix star was allegedly accused of blackfishing. That is, wherein someone who is not black fraudulently appropriates black culture for their personal identity or style, by former bandmate Leigh-Anne Pinnock. Nicki Minaj joined Nelson for an Instagram live session where she criticized Pinnock for her attack on Nelson. She said during the stream, "All of a sudden she's not in a video with you, you have some negative, evil thing to do and say? Stop." Minaj's full tirade saw the rapper being labeled a hypocrite online due to her seemingly defending Nelson for the same behavior she once criticized Miley Cyrus for. Considering her history for diss tracks and beef, it was strange to see Minaj on Twitter accusing Pinnock of encouraging people to bully Nelson. This is especially the case because Nelson is a person who has been suicidal from bullying in the past. Despite being accused of having waited a decade to address Nelson's cultural issues, Little Mix explained to The Telegraph that they'd previously approached Nelson in a very friendly, educational manner. And as for Minaj, they appear to be keeping a dignified silence about her, for now. If you know anything about the family, then you'll know that hell hath no fury like a Kardashian scorned. Nicki Minaj has something of a history with the family, which began when she accused Kylie Jenner's partner, Travis Scott, of, quote, artificially inflating the numbers for his album, Astroworld. The album's success also relegated her album, Queen, to the #2 slot upon release. But why stop with the dude when you can go for his girl, too? On Twitter, the rapper called out Scott for receiving promotional help from Jenner, who had posted a since-deleted Instagram pic pushing her man's album while playfully suggesting that she and their baby Stormi were ready for tour. In 2021, Minaj further fanned the flames with some backhanded compliments to the family. Spare a thought for poor Jessie J. In 2021, the British singer had the audacity to suggest that Bang Bang, her 2014 hit collaboration with Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj, was something that the rapper was excited about being in on. She told Glamour, "Nicki was played it in the studio and was like, I've got to jump on this." Minaj told a different story, however. In a since-deleted Twitter post, Minaj curtly suggested, "I didn't hear the song and asked to get on it. The label asked me to get on it and paid me." Clearly humiliated, Jessie took to Instagram to address the, quote, weird energy between them and to admit that she never knew the real story. She said, "Someone was clearly gassing me up at the label." She then thanked the rapper for clarifying. In the since-deleted post, she shared how blessed she felt to collaborate with the two artists on the track and suggested she was laughing her way through the drama. She wrote, "What a way for us to celebrate the 7-year anniversary of the song." Indeed, but as one fan suggested on Twitter, we should have potentially seen this beef coming. Why? Well, via some video evidence that is not kind, Nicki once used Jessie J as a stair railing during a live performance of the song. Here's hoping that Jessie always finds a way to laugh the drama off for Minaj's sake. The small-time feud between Nicki Minaj and Tiffany Haddish seemingly began at the 2018 MTV Video Music Awards. The comedian stirred an already bustling pot of pop beef by taking a cheap shot at Fifth Harmony's achievements compared to the great success of former member-turned-solo star Camila Cabello. Evidently, Minaj was not amused, and she made her feelings clear when she stepped up to accept the award for Best Hip-Hop Video. During her speech, the rapper turned to face Haddish and said, "Tiff, don't be coming for Fifth Harmony, because Normani is that." The comedian seemed happy to laugh the statement off. However, fast forward to 2021, and it seemed Haddish had some opinions to share about the rapper. According to TMZ, leaked audio from a Clubhouse interview with the star saw her being called the Nicki Minaj of comedy. Another voice piped up to state that Haddish is better than the rapper just because she shows up on time. But the comedian took it one step further by saying, "Unlike Nicki, I treat everybody with respect and dignity."
You shouldn't have said that.
Ouch. It's worth noting that Haddish carries a fair amount of prestige and power in Hollywood. On top of her quick wit, she's a formidable force should Minaj ever wish to step up the feud and retaliate in some way. Okay, so maybe Nicki Minaj doesn't need to be directly afraid of legendary singer-songwriter Tracy Chapman. She of such gentle, earnest ballads like Fast Car and Talkin' About a Revolution isn't inspiring nightmares for anybody. However, in 2020, the veteran musician and activist proved that her immense profile is not one to be toyed with when she sued Minaj for copyright infringement. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the issue stemmed from the emcee song, Sorry, featuring elements of Chapman's legendary tune, Baby Can I Hold You. At the time of that writing, however, Minaj believed the song to be the work of another artist and continued to develop the track, thinking she could clear the rights afterwards. Sadly for Minaj, Chapman isn't too hot on people sampling her music and rejected every request for the rapper to allow fair usage. Minaj went ahead and gave the track to a New York radio station to play regardless. where it naturally spread across the internet like wildfire. In 2021, Chapman officially won her copyright claim against Minaj and received $450,000 from the artist, as reported by NPR. It's a pretty huge chunk of change to pay for a track that the rapper can no longer make a profit on. It also might be one of the first times that Nicki Minaj has been challenged in such an official way, and lost so publicly too. This should go without saying, but as a general rule, it's probably not the best idea to go gabbing about other people's intimate body parts on social media for the whole world to see. And that's especially true if you happen to have as big a social media following as Nicki Minaj does. Regardless, in 2021, the rapper decided to make the genitalia of her cousin's unnamed friend the business of a viral post on Twitter. Speaking about the COVID-19 vaccine, Minaj suggested that the dude's testicles became swollen after he received his vaccination. She dramatically wrote, his friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. On top of prompting doctors the world over to assure people that such a side effect is untrue and a myth, Minaj's cousin's friend's anatomy also became a total joke online. One Twitter user wrote, some random guy in Trinidad blamed COVID for catching an STI while cheating, and now look what he caused. While another joked, the year is 2039 and we're still in this pandemic because one time Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend got an STD and she told all her followers it was COVID. Even the British government found themselves addressing the statement. It had reach. So here's to hoping Minaj's cousin's friend is able to come up for air from whatever pit of shame he's likely hiding in. He can also remind the superstar about private things staying private. If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. 4357